Okay, so what brought you to Constellations?
Well, looking back to my first day on
Yeah.
your training,
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first check-in, and it always stays with me, was I felt and I said I felt nothing. And I had no drive, no known hobbies. I just lost my place in life.
Right.
So there was that. And also, I had a longing to know why I didn't have children. So that was another aspect. And then I also, and a third, maybe a third thing was a longing to love my mum. I had this blankness to my mum and duty. It was duty, and with duty came guilt, and it never went away. So that was the reason. Yeah.
I tell you what, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that you could barely talk. There was so much constriction in your throat. It seemed so hard for you to express yourself. And when we touched on difficult bits, your voice went almost to a whisper.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And that's really changed it.
Hugely. I
Yeah.
found my voice.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
found your voice. Yeah.
And that, and do you think it's related to, I said it takes me to Victorian, my parents were the Victorian generation, and that being seen and not heard as children,
Yeah.
And
that's what you
and
fell into.
I
You were
fell in,
compliant, the
I was
compliant,
very,
dutiful daughter. Yeah. And then how did that change over the training? What do you think helped?
I think it's while you're in a constellation, you are out of all that bad girl, good girl thoughts. You're in the moment.
Yeah.
You're totally in the moment. So it takes you away from all that torture of what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
Of that.
And like when you're representing somebody else somehow, even though a lot of the similar feelings are being triggered, you're not in your own way about it. You're not sort of thinking,
Yes.
oh, I'm doing this and I should be doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It totally, yes.
Yeah.
You're in the moment.
Yeah. And you went through a lot, I mean, with all your BRCA stuff and your operations and that sort of thing. Do you want to say a bit about that, what your experience was with that?
Yeah, when I question that now and I think from the constellating, it's shown me you get into your own story of seeing it from your point of view. So I had major surgery of healthy organs to stop the chances of getting cancer.
Yeah.
So I was almost I was in like total fear mode of my own mortality. Seeing my sister dying at the time. So it put me into that fear mode. And now, and at the time I was furious at my brother and my mum for going, and that surely you don't need to have all that surgery. I was furious at them thinking, oh, do they just want me to die then? But now I see, if I was told that today, I'm not saying I wouldn't have the surgery, but I wouldn't, I didn't rush to have them. Maybe I did rush. But I see it more from both points of view. Or the anger at my brother and my mum for thinking I did the wrong thing. I see their point of view now.
Well, and you're not dominated by fear anymore. I think that was what was dominating, wasn't it? And you didn't get a balanced view from the medical profession.
No.
You know, you've got a kind of pointer towards get it done and then you'll be safe, which
90
is actually nonsense, you know, because you just get cancer
90%.
somewhere else, you know.
Yeah. When they tell you 90% you're going to get breast cancer and ovarian,
yeah.
it's like you know, I found myself saying it's a no-brainer, but now I think, are they?
Yeah. So what would you say to people now who are considering that?
Yeah, that's a really difficult one because I'm not in their shoes. I'm still not walking in their shoes.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't rush to say don't have it done.
No.
But I think what I'm really interested in lately is starting a support group. But it's more about showing people it's still an ongoing journey for me, 12 years down the line. It's still massively there.
Yeah.
You know, last week, even I've had implants taken out now, but last week my body was still kind of screeching at me a bit like, oh, it's still a bit tight there, where they actually probably took out too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
a torture to your body, really, isn't it?
And then it's like, oh, I did that to myself, you know.
Yeah. So you're going to form a support group and you're going to write a book about it, And really, if people feel more held in all of that, they can make a decision that's right for them. And not from a place of terror or fear, but from a more balanced viewpoint. Okay, and then the other thing that you struggled with is not having children, and you've written in my book about that, you know. So just say a little bit about that.
Again, not having when I came into constellating, I wanted to know why I didn't have children. I wanted them, but it just didn't work out. And yeah, there's so much connected to that, isn't there? That it's such a deep subject. And also it's a bit like the BRCA thing. It's a continuation.
Never goes away.
No, you think it'll go away, but it doesn't.
No.
So even now, I've now got friends with their children are going to uni. And that's a trigger. Or they're getting married, or they're having, and then and also realizing not having children gives you much more time. But actually, more time can be harder to deal with.
Absolutely.
And you fill it up, and it can be filled up with sadness and depression. So you then rush to keep yourself busy. And so I was talking this with a friend only yesterday.
You do sort of compensatory things, I suppose, don't you?
I do. I think what constellating has helped me do is find what my passions are. And you know, my first passion now is facilitating.
Which
Thank you to you.
Which is great, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Well done, you.
Barbara, I really enjoy the interview. The pinpointing why that person has come.
Exactly.
You know,
Getting to the core issues.
How can we get there?
So let's just talk about that, because what I'm remembering is when I first came across the work, 96, I think it was, and I said to Bert Hellinger, the founder, you know, how can I do this work? I love it, you know, just from that brief experience, because there was no training then. And he said this one line, all you need is to be at peace with your parents. So profound. So let's just talk about that, because we've had similar journeys with our mothers. I mean, mine was slightly different. I mean, I've always adored my mother, but she had so much pain inside her because of her paralysis and everything. It's like I couldn't complete my movement towards her. And then I did the interrupted reaching out movement, and I found peace. And you know, it took me longer with my dad, but I did the same with him. And by the time he was dying, I was like, you are who you are, Dad, and it's okay. It's okay. I love you anyway. So I felt at peace with both of them, and that was my journey. My mum first, and then my dad later on.
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
tell us about yours, your journey getting to that reaching out moment with your mum.
It's similar too, that yes, it's taken a long time,
Yeah.
and I realised through constellating, I would pull back. So yeah, and that like wincing back, and so I think I realised through the lens, seeing things through a different lens.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't just me.
Right.
Mum, you weren't there for me as a child. Suddenly, I saw her trauma behind her. You see the bigger picture.
Right. Yeah.
And I think through doing a lot of representing, like I love representing for other people.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
much
just
comes up, doesn't it?
so much comes up for you. It's so healing. Through that, it remind me, it was at camp. Like I think the light bulb moment
It was last year at camp.
Last year at camp, and I came to you. And was it through? Did I represent something that, or was it in the middle of the night? I suddenly realised the love for my mum.
I can't remember.
And I was just weeping.
Yeah.
About loving my mum.
Yeah.
And it just suddenly all made sense.
Yeah. You also went through, you found your rage, didn't you?
Oh,
Lots of rage, yeah, which I think freed you up more to be able to find your longing and then convey your longing, you know. Yeah, I don't remember the moment, but you know,
no,
I remember you come in and say,
yeah,
you know,
Barbara,
light bulb moment.
This is, but the rage, Barbara.
Yeah.
You're a master.
Yeah.
At bringing out people's rage.
You know, it comes through me. It's not, I mean,
Really?
I know some of it's me, but you know, it comes through me. The work is like that. You know that now.
I do.
You know, once you get to that place, you become a channel for other people, you know, and it's so satisfying. And of course, it builds on itself. You know, when you're facilitating, you get the rewards from other people who are going through these transformations, you know, and it's so profound, the work. It can literally change your life, you know, if you're ready for it, when you're ready for it.
And now I'm holding rage when I facilitate.
Yeah, you can hold
it.
The
other day I brought rage in.
Right.
And I'm like, oh. Yeah. And then the beauty of seeing where it goes.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's just held in the group, you know. Yeah. So here we are.
Yes.
How many years down the line? When did you do the training?
2019.
2019. Amazing. Yeah. And you've done other things and you've widened your repertoire and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But now you're a full-blown facilitator.
Yeah.
Great.
And loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah. So any other rounding off things you want to say?
Yeah, I think coming back to mothers, really.
I've shared stories.
So grateful.
Yeah.
To, you know, recently having my mother pass.
Yeah.
But it's almost the joyous in her passing. She lived 92 good years.
Yeah.
And it's almost the joy in the grief.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The joy in the grief, that
relief of being able to cry.
I loved her and I miss her, and you know, it's to actually be on the edge of tears. Before that, I just felt nothing.
No, that's right.
So to have that before she died.
Yeah. And you moved her in with you. You had 3 months with her. Of bliss.
It was bliss.
Yeah, and I was so privileged to meet her, and we took her to a constellation. Bless her. So she got to know what you've been doing, which was really lovely. Yeah. And then when I had about 18 months with my mum after I did my first movement, and it was just bliss in that time, you know, just pure love.
Yes.
We didn't need to talk about it, you know, it was just there, you know. So I feel really gifted, privileged. That's not the word, gifted. And I feel privileged to have had that for myself, and then, you know, to witness that in you and others as well. Yeah. And it does my heart good to see you taking the work forward. You know, it's lovely. You know, I'm 74. I don't know how much longer I'll go on, but to know
Yeah,
other people will carry on the work afterwards, because it's
Oh,
such amazing work.
it
It's
is.
great.
and
Yeah.
is to have to love, I just love to be able to do that for other people.
Yes,
Like you
exactly.
say, carry it down the
Passed it
line.
on. Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Lovely
you,
to have chatted.
Barbara.
Bye.